they botched it?
Here's my opinion. I feel that we've been plagued by conspiracies and conspiracy theories and events and non-events for so long. And those that would put their finger on the button to execute these conspiracies, for a long time they've been able to get around judgment or accountability for it. But it's my humble belief that the events of 9/11, those that carried out the attacks on 9/11 botched it so bad that it was a gift from God to humanity to finally rid this planet of them. When I say them, I'm talking about the...
We're talking about they. We did a film about they.
Yeah, we did. Because of that one botched event, there were significant failures in their carrying out the events of 9/11 that totally exposed them, all of them. And it's because the only trump card that they possess is the trump card of the mainstream media, which has been able to echo and sustain that lie, basically stomping out any dissension or further investigations into it. We've had independent groups pop up like AE911truth.org. We've had other people like Alex Jones being very outspoken about it, yourself. You know, the list goes on and on. But what happens is that the vast majority of those people that speak out against or speak for 9/11 truth, they also get caught up in all these other events, going back even before the Kennedy assassination. And so they get diverted from one conspiracy to another, and they don't really appreciate the gift that we have from them botching 9/11 so bad, because Building 7 is undeniable. Okay? It doesn't take anybody with any experience in any field that has to do with architecture, engineering, air traffic control, piloting, anything. A normal, everyday, ordinary citizen can look at Building 7 and they can ascertain that the building was not hit by a plane. It had a few incendiary fires inside. The structural damage to that building was not significant, and for it to fall in on its own footprint at 5:20 in the afternoon on 9/11.
Yet the BBC said the building had gone down and it hadn't even been hit.
Yeah, 20 minutes before the building went down, they were on air reporting that it had already fallen. Silverstein was asked about that later after 9/11. It was brought up to him that, well, hey, BBC had reported on this before it ever fell, and his comment was, and I'm paraphrasing here, the loss of life was so tragic on that day, and there was so much damage to that building that they decided to go ahead and pull it.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
So what that insinuates is that the term pull is a term that they use to bring down buildings. Again, I'm not a structural engineer, but I've heard it said that is a term that demolition teams use to bring down structures.
Well, I heard Larry Silverstein say that. It's on our film.
Yes, and so he said that, but what he's insinuating is that during all the chaos on 9/11, all the loss of life, the emergency response teams down in the area that are trying to save lives or recover things, he's saying that a team went in to wire this building during all this, and a building that is, would dwarf 33 of our state's skylines. And so does it make any sense? Does it make a lick of sense that you would send assets into that building to bring it down during all that chaos on 9/11? Now, they've been able to get away with things up until 9/11. Let's stay on target. They botched it, okay? They screwed 9/11 up. From the Pentagon to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the coup de grace of that day is Building 7. That is the one piece that was omitted from the 9/11 Commission report, and for good reason. I think it starts with the media first. I think, in my opinion, I believe that our news media, the ones that are bought and paid for, the ones that are so compromised that they can't tell the truth, I think they need to be brought to trial first for not investigatively reporting this stuff. Look, if I, as a working American,
Former air traffic controller,
can discern the failure of their agenda on that day, we all should. And especially if our news media did report discrepancies within those events of 9/11. But see, they've been able to cleverly try to spin it as, hey, if you question the events of 9/11, then you're unpatriotic. Well, see, I beg to differ. I think you're more patriotic, and you're showing more respect for those lives that were lost by trying to find who is really responsible for this.
In other words, you aren't patriotic unless you do investigate this.
That's my opinion.